time. And Julian, what's the last time we checked in our research? It was 18 hours for somebody to really start a process of traveling?
If I'm always gonna stay in 5-star hotels, why are they showing me in the first page 2-star hotels, 3-star hotels, hostels, which is something that I probably wouldn't book?
You're trying to cut away the time that you actually spend on planning, booking, and we're going to give you an EA.
Hi everyone, my name is Khánh and I'm the co-founder of Inspius. At Inspius, we are your access to the best software engineer in Vietnam. Recently, we have just launched Hack. Hack is an AI-powered online coding test platform that enables you to screen incoming software engineer candidates faster, more accurately, and more cost-effectively. Right now, Hack is available for free beta. I will leave the link to our product and service in the description down below. So please give it a try and I look forward to any feedback from you. Welcome to the new episode of From 1 to 100. This podcast series is tailored to the business owner of small and medium enterprises and tech startup. In every episode, we feature practical and specific lessons to help you grow your business from 1 to 100. Applications may involve growing your business, building a good tech team, to application of AI in businesses. Hi everyone, my name is Khánh and with us today we have Julian and Marcus from Alola. Alola is an online travel company that aims to make your travel experience easy, seamless, and personal with AI. In the previous episode, we have talked about the application of AI in sales, marketing, and education. So today, we are going to explore another aspect of the application of AI, which is travel booking and planning. Coincidentally, we also have two experts in the house today talking about application of AI for this topic. Thank you for being with us today, Julian and Marcus. So maybe before we start, you guys can give a brief introduction about Alola, how it comes about, and what's your vision for it?
Well, thank you, Kant. I think first and foremost, I don't think we are the foremost experts of travel or AI space. I think we're just trying to make things a little bit better for everybody who is traveling. And I think, the total accessible market that we are addressing to is a huge market, right? Everybody loves to travel or needs to travel from time to time. And, with the recent development of, or rather the advancement of AI coming along, I think there is a huge space to make things a little bit more fun and a little bit more easier for everybody. Now, I think what we are trying to break is to just eliminate time spent on searching, getting inspired, and all this kind of stuff, which takes a long time. And Julian, what's the last time we checked in our research? It was 18 hours for somebody to really start a process of traveling? No, obviously we're talking about recreational traveling, not corporate travel, not business travel, right? Obviously, business travel, corporate travel, you already know where you're supposed to go, know what you're going to do, because the company sent you to do that. But what we're trying to really address here is your recreational travel, your precious time that you want to spend with your family and your friends when you're off work, right? I think that's what we're trying to do. Julian, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I think these days we're always very busy. You ask everybody that you meet, you ask them, how are you? They always tell you, busy. We're trying to make people less busy if we can, If instead of spending 18 hours planning their travel, if we can cut that down to less, to an hour, to 5 minutes, then that's quite good, right? Then people, instead of saying, how are you? They won't say I'm busy. They're like, oh, I'm looking forward to my next travel. That's kind of what we want.
So I thought before we came to this topic, I have done some research on Statista, and it says that only 11% of leisure traveler and 16% of business traveler surveyed worldwide did not experience any frustration when they book a trip online. So we can say that about 85% to about 90% of the traveler experience frustration when they prepare their trip itinerary or book their trips online. I think the top three concerns we have here is that the search is limited to the date, location, and the budget. So these are the top frustration that travelers worldwide have voiced out, right? And currently, with the advancement of large language model, or we also like call LLMs and other AI technologies, we have the right technology to transform current travel and planning experience that we're having right now, right? So maybe Julian and Marcus, can you share with us about this topic a little bit more? From your own experience and maybe like your survey and research, what are the current top 10 points of travelers that are having right now?
Maybe I'll start. I can share a little bit about my own experience. I think before I go into any statistics, let me talk about my own experience, which I think a lot of people may share. So when I travel, actually, I'm quite a frequent traveler, and for me, I use OTAs as well as go direct to book my travels. So whether it's hotels or flights, I use a combination of OTAs and direct. So let's talk about OTAs because I think OTAs is where I use quite often and it's what I use quite often. And I'm actually a long time user of OTAs. I probably won't mention any names, but I mean, I've used so many OTAs for many years. And I think my biggest pain point is that when I use that, they don't really remember what I like. If I'm always going to stay in 5-star hotels, why are they showing me in the first page 2-star hotels, 3-star hotels, hostels, which is something that I probably wouldn't book? If I only want hotels that are kids friendly, why are you showing me hotels that are far away, that's probably more corporate or those in the CBD area? And I think, having also been in the industry, I know about the whole marketing dollar where you can actually pay to be listed first in the results page. It's all search engine marketing. Because of this marketing dollars, OTAs are actually committed to actually put all these hotels or flights first in the results because, they paid money. So whoever pays the most marketing dollar gets shown first. And this doesn't really give you an authentic experience, right? If I'm searching for a family hotel in Seoul and my preference, I would think at least the first 10 hotels should actually be something that I would actually book. Not like a weird hostel or backpackers
You
or...
need to go to like the third or fourth page.
Exactly. And it's so exhaustive, right? You go on OTAs and it's just so exhaustive. I have to filter, I have to tweak the pricing and all that. But, if I've been using it for so many years, it should learn, right? I mean, you think they would have that capability. So, I mean, that's my biggest pain point for OTAs. And I mean, looking at statistics online, that's also part of the problem. I think there was a statistics that 67% of American travelers feel that the whole OTA experience is an information overload. And because of that, many people actually drop out. They say like, okay, you know what? Let's not go on this trip. It's just too stressful. And I think another thing is the inflexibility. Let's say you want to make changes to your travel. You decide, okay, I like this city a lot more. I want to stay longer, or I have a meeting comes up and I can't go so early. Oh man, you try to find the hotline for any of the OTAs. Good luck. It's so difficult to find any of those hotlines. And when you do, you're on hold for an hour, 2 hours, and then they'll, push you around to different departments. Why can't you just do it, with in seconds, in a minute? And that's kind of what we want to do. Another interesting statistics that came out is that for Booking.com, they found that actually half of the cancellations that they've experienced is because people couldn't make the changes. So they just said, you know what, let's cancel it and rebook. That's the inflexibility of the OTA industry. Now I'll let Marcus also talk about his experience. I think he has some.
Well, thanks, Julian. Just for the audience, if they're wondering what is an OTA, OTA is an online travel agency. So these agencies are online, and you can go there and book your hotels and your flights and whatever have you not. My experience as a traveler, I've been very blessed. For a long time in my corporate life, And also in my basic travel, I do actually have an executive assistant, and she's been with me for 10 years. And thank God I do have her, because she has all my particulars. I trust her in my life. She books everything for me. I just tell her, say, okay, I need to go Hong Kong. And because she's been with me for so long, and she knows exactly what I'm going to do, where I want to stay, what kind of business. I mean, I fly business class, so she will not book economy. She will not book first class. She'll just go straight for class. She knows exactly which hotel I'm with, which loyalty I have. I always tend to stay with a specific chain of hotel, and a specific location, right? So she has in memory of all my preferences. And I'm very blessed that I have an EA. And I also do understand that not everyone has an EA that will remember all their preferences. And that's one of the reasons why I found out with the AI agents that you can build, you could actually have
An EA.
an EA at no cost, right? And that's one of the fundamentals of why we're doing Alola. So I don't fall in the space of a person that goes to the OTA websites and have a look at hotels and book the flights and stuff like that, because I'm blessed with an EA. But I've also experienced the OTA side. It's very overwhelming. You get information overload, and then you get a specific loyalty point system, which is unique to each individual company, which you need to rebuild all over again, right? So at Alola, what we're trying to do is we're trying to cut away the time that you actually spend on planning, booking, and we're going to give you an EA that would actually not just be your assistant, but actually more like a friend. Because I think traveling should be fun. The planning process is part of that fun process. It should be fun. Shouldn't be that serious. You want to talk to somebody and get inspired, and that's what we're trying to build this agent, or we're trying to build Alola in this spectrum. So yeah, you don't really need an EA to get inspired. You don't need an EA to do your cancellation amendments and all your bookings. Right? We can do it all with our AI agent at Alola, which is what we call it Alola Intelligence, right?
Yeah.
There we go, AI.
Okay. So I guess like for 99% of us, we need to deal with like online travel agencies. And for me, I also like experience the same frustration when I book the trips online. So for this year, our initial plan was to, go to Europe, but because like the preparation process was like too overwhelming. Travel through like all the visa application process, and trip booking between like countries within Europe. So we decided not to go to Europe this year because of our schedule. And I think like right now, from what you say, is that like for Alola, you are trying to bring the executive assistant experience to the masses. Do I get you correctly?
Absolutely right. So at Alola, we're just trying to answer 4 questions. First question is, can we get there? So, Khan, you have just explained it so well. Can we get there is visas, right? So we are very blessed in Singapore that our red little passport, we can go to literally anywhere without applying for visa. But Singapore is so unique. We are so blessed. I would say 80% of the world's population needs a visa to go somewhere. Now, that's something we're trying to crack at Alola, but because of visa complexities, it's with government entities all around the world, it's a little difficult because it changes based on foreign policies every month, every 2 months. We got no idea, right? So we're still trying to crack the code on that. So if anybody watching this program, if you have an answer for me, I would love to work with you, right? So can we get there? Question number 2 that we need to answer for all travel, right? This is speaking for all OTAs and every travel agency out there. It's how do we get there? How do we get there means your flights, right? Or sometimes train, sometimes cruise, or whatever you call it, or cars. And then when we get there, where do we rest? That's the third question. Question number 3. So basically, are you going to go on a Airbnb lodging, or are you going to a specific hotel? Where do you rest? Number four, sorry. What do we do there? What do we do there is, where do we eat? What do we eat? Where can we go? Do we go Disneyland? Do we go Universal Studios? So literally, these are the four questions that we need to answer. And this is the flow that we're trying to get through with our Alola intelligence, right? So the difference with all the other, I wouldn't say competitors, all the other partners that is out there in the world, we are literally having all these four questions. Of course, the first one is not answered yet because of the visa, but the three verticals, which is basically your, how do we get there, where do we rest, and what do we do? These are all done within our ecosystem in the chat, where you can execute, you can ask the questions, you can immediately book it, and right after that, if you decide to amend and cancel, just talk to our AI. It will be done. This is what we are trying to do. It seems extremely simple, but we've been working on it for quite a while. And I don't think it's at perfection right now, but we're going to roll it out soon. We'll let everybody try it out at beta version at the same time. Right after that, we collect all the feedback. It'll be a non-stop innovation from there.
After that, right now, because for Alola, you guys are, from my understanding, a closed beta stage. So maybe can you give us a sneak peek into the technologies, or how do you apply the current AI, for example, large language model, to improve the overall user experience when they plan and book their trips online? Maybe just give us a sneak peek so that we can excite our audience here.
Sure. So, we're very blessed in an age right now where everybody's talking about AI and stuff like that. But everybody must understand that AI has been around for a long time. It's just like during the .com days, the internet has been around for a long time, but it's not been open to public. It's been open only for specific military units around the world. But then when it opened up, everybody went crazy. We're experiencing the same thing right now with AI. It used to be so much more expensive to build an AI agent because you need to collect the data, sort the binary, sort the data, and then redo everything over again and over again to make sure that the hallucinations and the affirmations as correct as possible. But now, AI has become kind of open source. And there's a lot of software companies out there that's actually providing solutions. And I think we are very blessed that we came in at the right time to build our infrastructure and our architecture along that. But because AI is moving so fast, every month there's a new development, there's a new advancement. And we're trying to you see if it's current or not current, and we try to implement it as well. And that's where, I think we'll probably get a mature product towards the end of 2025. But that's what we're trying to get through. To answer the question on our snippets of beta, I think the existing model of online travel agencies out there with the verticals of being able to book your flights, your hotels, and your activities, they're all available out there. So what Alola did from a very conservative perspective, that we went to build this stuff first. And then we built that AI component to wrap around this tree as the centerpiece of what we're trying to do. But we went on a conservative approach that, even for anybody that doesn't understand AI, they could come into our beta version and specifically book a hotel in Singapore, specifically book a hotel in Malaysia, or book just a flight, or even just book tickets to Universal Studios. Now, currently on hand, we have about 300,000 hotel properties around the world. We've integrated with them. And we also have 700 carriers all around the world. And also we have about maybe 5,000 activities. So stuff like your Disneyland tickets, your Universal Studio tickets, we all have it there. And the beta version is a full version, which you can experience the whole thing. At the same time, book and pay as well. So it's not a minimal viable product. I think we've kind of overbuilt it. So good and bad, cost us a lot of money. But I think me being a person that wants to do things, if you want to do something, do it right, right? So that's me. We did the best that we can, but my team was trying to tell me, Marcus, you need to ship this out, because if we carry on doing what we're doing, we'll be forever building, and it's built based on us. We need at some point of time to let the world knows and try and tell us whether this is something that they want or this is just something that we want. So there's a big difference, and that's where I think we're very excited. Hopefully, Singapore Tourism Promotion Board give us the green light, because we're still waiting for a license. Once that is cleared, we would be out with the beta version, and hope most of you guys who have not signed up for beta, I think hopefully sign up, and we'll release the keys to you guys. And there's certain our Julian has prepared some gifts for you guys as well. So yeah, great.
Okay, so I just want to squeeze a little bit more insider information here for our audience here. So the experience when we use Alola, is it something similar to the way that we chat to ChatGPT when we just tell, hey, Alola intelligence, can you plan my trip to Japan? Is that something like that?
Do you want to answer that? I go first and then you follow up, Julian, right? So the dream here is, imagine me lying on this couch and, my EA is unavailable, but Alola intelligence is available 24/7. They don't take a holiday, it's a machine. I'm lying on my couch and watching TV, and I see some place that's beautiful, let's say, for example, Bora Bora in the Polynesian Islands. And I'll just shout across the room to my phone, Alola, I want to go Bora Bora. And then Alola will reply in a voice that you chose, in a tone that you chose. This is the dream, huh? This is not yet. Reply to you, Marcus, Bora Bora, Polynesian Islands, 4 Seasons, walks up your alley, right in your budget. Do you want to book it? Which day you want to go? And I said, next week. Replies you back, done. That is the dream.
So where are we right now?
We are at the stage where we are able to book the hotel, the flight and activities via typing.
So it's like conversation, like the way we chat?
Yes. So no difference. I mean, you mentioned ChatGPT, right? And I'm going to tell you, no difference from ChatGPT right now. It's just that we fine-tune that our LLM a little bit more tighter, meaning you can't come into Alola Intelligence asking for quantum physics answers, right? So we pack it a little bit tighter. When an LLM model becomes tighter, it becomes a little bit more accurate. At the same time, what we have done is we have packed in our live inventories with our chat as well. So whenever our chat is recommending you a specific hotel for a specific date, flight for a specific time for a specific date, those are packed with live inventories. So once you click yes, purchase it now, you will purchase it now. Whereas the other chat models, you can purchase it in the same portal. That's important, right? Because I'm extremely lazy, or rather extremely efficient. I don't like to go to another click to another place to do another thing and give another credit card to give another. No, I like to do everything in one space. So we do everything in one space. That's it, right? So it's one space where you can do your things that you want to purchase, get inquiries, and immediately when you know that when we recommend you something, it can be booked. That's our current magic right now.
So can I say that right now, for where we are right now, is that you control the LLM more and give it your proprietary data, so that will serve like the use case better?
Yes, but we are also very careful into collecting too much preferences, collecting too much information. We have to build the trust with the community first, including myself. Everybody else out there hates to give out too much information to companies that they don't really know. We're very careful about that. And obviously, we all know, the more we know about you, for example, the more I know about you, Khan, the more I can recommend you the correct stuff that you like. But it's a two-way traffic. You need to trust me first. And for the start right now with the beta, if everybody understands that to sign up with us, we're just asking for one thing and one thing only, which is your email address. Right? And it starts from there. The relationship starts from there. And if you allow us, we'll start to analyze your searches. So, for example, if you've been searching about Paris, if you just mentioned about Europe just now, if you mentioned about Paris, you ask a lot of questions about Paris, we start to understand, you are looking more for a trip to Paris. And we'll try to figure out what you want to do in Paris. Champs-Élysées, you want to go a bit more rough, Gare du Nord, in, the train station or something like that. So we start to understand a little bit about you. But that's only if you agree that we start to know each other better, right? And then we can move on. So that's where we are at right now. For the start of beta, I think we are very careful. We just want one email address so that we can actually, open up communication. You can talk to us and we can talk to you a little bit, but we're also very careful not to spam you, right? So, and interestingly, Julian has created an email address. What's the email address? This is not spam, is it?
Not spam at alola.com.
Yeah. Not spam at alola.com. So you receive that, that's from us. That's not from somebody else.
Yeah, thanks, Marcus. So I think on the part of learning your preferences, so if you're familiar with digital marketing, especially programmatic marketing, let me just put it in a bit simple way, because I think a lot of people may not be from marketing, so they may not understand that how programmatic marketing works. But do you know sometimes how when you go on online and you find ads that keep following you everywhere you go? Like, for example, you mentioned about Europe. So maybe, like Marcus mentioned, maybe Paris is something that you've been searching for. And then suddenly you realize there's this ad that keeps following you. Maybe it's a hotel, maybe it's an attraction, maybe it's travel insurance, keeps following you. And the messages keep changing. At first, it's a bit more general, but after that, it's like, it's a bit more specific. And it feels like it's following you and it's stalking you. That's kind of, that's because it's also learning about you. So, I mean, all this machine learning, it's already out in the market. For many years, we've been using it in marketing. So, in this sense, it's the same thing here where, we learn about your preferences and we give you more and more tailored solutions. And I think there's also a fine line between, knowing you and making it a bit creepy, right? So we had a conversation before where you talk about, when we know so much, it gets a bit creepy. But I would say I would use the analogy between a good friend and a stalker. So a good friend and a stalker, they both know a lot about you. But how they get information is very different. So the stalker follows you everywhere, looks through your window, probably looks at you from afar or next to you, I don't know, eavesdrops on your conversation and all that. Whereas that good friend, because you've interacted so much with this good friend, that friend doesn't even have to ask you like, Khan, what do you like? Or what do you like to eat? Or what allergies do you have? That friend doesn't, because he or she already goes out with you all the time, interacts with you, naturally would have that knowledge. So that's kind of what we want. We talk about the EA, but that travel buddy. So, sometimes you always have this one friend that just happens to know about the best food, the best places to go. And that's kind of what we want. You want that person to be able to tell you the best things, where to do. And also that the part about like that friend, there's also one that always nags, right? Hey, weather is cold, make sure you put on a jacket. That's kind of what we want, that personalization, which will come later, a bit more proactive. And what will come later, I'm not going to review too much, but it's going to be more proactive. So let's say your wife's birthday is coming up. It could remind you, hey, your wife's birthday is coming up. She has, she likes to go on this annual trip to Seoul for shopping. Do you want to consider doing that? Or it's your anniversary, it's whatever. So, and we talk about beyond just travel, beyond just pure travel. It could be eating, it could be, an event, like, a concert coming up. I mean, hopefully, if we can get A-list concert, Taylor Swift concerts coming up, and if we can get rights to book those things, that'd be awesome. And preempt people. Oh, this is coming. This event is coming up. Would you like to quickly book? So that's kind of what we want to do. Be that friend that just knows everything about you and can actually help you in your lifestyle. So we're more than travel. We are lifestyle.
Okay, I like you mentioned a good point, because when I browsed through your website, you mentioned that you want to personalize without being creepy. Answer that a little bit. You say that when you personalize, you want people to give you permission, right? You need to allow the engine to get information from you, and when they answer something, it must be natural that they know this information. Whereas where you being creepy, maybe like you have some information, but the user might be surprised how you could get this data, right? So I think that is where you draw the line.
Yes. So I think, most people are actually willing to give up information. You'd be quite surprised. For most people, I mean, of course, you have those few people who like, oh, don't give me, I don't want to give you any information. But for most people, if it makes their life easy, yeah, sure, I'll give you my information as long as I know what it's for. And if it's, through conversation, if it's through a very natural way of interaction, I think that's quite okay.
I think like we have drawn the big picture. So maybe can you share some features that Alola offers that help to alleviate or solve the frustration that we mentioned at the beginning? For example, 90% of the traveler experience in terms of the search, it is kind of limited to the place, the budget, and the date that you are looking for. So how do you enrich the search experience of user on Alola platform?
So I think the first thing is it's all about machine learning. It's about learning the preferences of the user. So when the user requests for certain information, whether it's hotel, whether it's flights, it won't be restricted by location. Well, I mean, location would be because you gotta tell it where you want to go, but it won't be, very rigid. We will factor in a lot more of your preferences. So it won't just be location, budget, and so on. Of course, those will be important, but there'll be more than that. So I think that's the one thing. The next thing is that, because we want to be this one-stop shop for everything. So instead of, opening 50 different browsers or windows, switching between 10 apps, just do it in one place and do it through a very natural conversational method. I think if we think of the dream for us is one thing that you can imagine, which I think is quite important. If let's say you're a frequent traveler, let's say I go to KL every month. I always go for 3 days. I always take the same airline. I always stay at the same hotel. I could potentially go on the app and just say, hey, I'm going to KL from this date to this date. Book me the usual. And the app just, and the chat, Alola Intelligence says, okay, this is your flight, Singapore Airlines, this time, this price, Hilton Kuala Lumpur, this price, this room, book. Yes, done.
Okay.
So quickly. So that's kind of what we want to do, right? To be able to offer quick solutions. As I mentioned, people are so busy. We want to make life easy for them. And of course, another one is amendments and cancellations, which is a big pain. A personal experience, maybe for myself, is that I booked actually a trip to Desaru. We booked a hotel because the price was quite good, and this was I think it was one and only. So we got to the gate. So it's a gated compound. So we got to the gate, and then we realized that, hey, we actually booked the wrong weekend. We booked the next weekend. So after driving up for 2 hours and you're just stuck at the gate, you want to get down, in the car for 2 hours, and probably more because the causeway jam from Singapore to JB can be quite crazy. So we're stuck there, and the hotel says, oh, you got to contact your OTA if you want to make the changes. And we're like, okay, let's find that hotline. So we searched on Google. We couldn't, so difficult. You can't imagine how difficult it is. And we finally found it. And it was the Malaysia hotline. Since we're in Malaysia, we thought, okay, Malaysia hotline. We called the Malaysia hotline, waited for a long time, finally got through. And they said, oh, sorry, you booked from Singapore, so you need to call the Singapore hotline. And we asked them, do you know the Singapore hotline? Oh, no, we don't know. So we went to search again. We found it. We called up, got put on hold, the same thing. And finally got through, and then we tried to make the changes. Said, yes, okay, we can make the changes, blah, blah, blah. You have to wait a while for it to take effect. But we said, is it easier if we just cancel? Oh, yeah, it's easier. So we just canceled. And then we had to rebook again on the same OTA. And that was much faster. So, I mean, that answers the question of why there's so much cancellations from a lot of OTAs, because that whole changes is so inflexible. On this note, what we want to do is you go to the chat and just say, hey, can I change my booking from from next Sunday or next weekend to this weekend? And as long as and because our chat, everything is linked, the API is all linked, and it senses that, oh, there's availability, prices are around the same, or even if it's different, it's fine because you just pay the difference, and just gets it done. So you can do that in a matter of minutes instead of an hour on the trying to wait for the Malaysia hotline, an hour to wait for the Singapore hotline, maybe another hour to wait for everything to take effect, while we're sitting in the car like sardines in the hot sun, waiting, what's going on. So yeah, that's what we wanted. Those are just some features.
Let me jump in a little bit. So the amendments and cancellation is obviously available as long as the hotels or the partners that we are getting the inventory from allows you to amend and allows you to cancel, right? And obviously we just feedback. Yeah, so instead of going into direct, answering your features and stuff like that, let me give you an overarching view as one of the pillars in Alola. We are selling convenience. That is the biggest word in our company, convenience. Of course, we're going to give very competitive pricing. I wouldn't dare say that we'll be the cheapest, or we want to be the cheapest, we want to have the best price. No, I would never say that, right? Because I always believe it's like what Julian experienced. 1 over hours on the phone trying to make changes to that booking. Now, depending on whoever you are, that 1 hour, it's a lot of money, right? Not dollars, but that 1 hours, you can spend really quality time with your friends or your families, right? Enjoying what you want to do. And I think that is worth a lot more than the dollars out there, right? And the frustration, not to mention. You are so frustrated that you won't be able to enjoy your holiday. You at least need another 4 more hours to calm down, right? So I think at Alola, what we're trying to do is to make things convenient as much as possible for everyone. I think that's a big feature, and everything that we boil down to do in terms of technological space or even a manual space, customer service, is all about making our customers feel more convenient, and so that they can enjoy their time where they want to enjoy it, right? Which brings that down to how we came out with the name. If you notice, Alola, it's A-L-O-L-A. The 2 A's from left to right. The whole word reads left and right. It's the same thing, right? And it's only 3 alphabets. So anybody who is not even in the English spoken language could probably pronounce it. It's easy to pronounce, right? And Alola, A at the start, A at the back, means what we're trying to do at Alola is end-to-end travel. And LOL in the middle means laugh out loud. So when you plan your trip and book your trip with us, you will be very sure that the A to the A is covered, and all you do in your trip is just to laugh out loud, enjoy yourself. So convenience is what we're selling. That is the biggest feature.
We want to talk more about the competitive landscape right now, because we all know that online travel agency is a very, very competitive space, and with the appearance of ChatGPT, I think that right now all the platforms have rolled out AI features to certain extent. So I think at the minimum they use LLM for customer support. Recently I just used TripAdvisor. They have a similar interface in which you can chat to the AI agent and you can book the trip. So how is Alola different from the current competitive landscape, or how are we better?
Well, I think that everybody's great, right? I did this. Since you mentioned TripAdvisor, I'll mention Trip Genie as well. Those are very big companies, and everybody's asking me, Marcus, you must be crazy. Why are you coming to this space? This is a red ocean, right? There's so much competitors. There are travel agents that are not online. There are travel agents that are online, and the Booking.com is worth 100 billion. Is it 100 billion? Yeah, it's 100 billion. You're just a small little company from Singapore, and why are you coming in this space? But to answer a question, honestly, what am I different? Why am I different? Where are we different? Again, it's that efficiency to make things convenient for our customers. That's all. Everybody have access to all this open source. Everybody has tons of more experience than us. And that's why I say we are, when you introduce us as expert, I don't think I'm an expert. But through the years of me working with my customers from before, which are all high net worth individuals, I come to a realization that customer support, customer service, the experience that we are, trying to give to our customers, that is of paramount importance. And what we are trying to do at Alola is to bring that experience that is actually meant for very high net worth individuals, like the part about me talking about everybody have an EA, right? To give this accessible luxury to all our users. And a lot of people ask me, Marcus, but we cannot afford it. Whatever you do for your all high net worth individuals are also expensive. No, that's where the difference are. A lot of people didn't understand this. Being luxurious doesn't mean you need to spend a lot of money. Experiencing luxury doesn't mean you have to spend a lot of money. Experiencing luxury is just understanding where the good stuff are. Now, obviously, if you want to travel on a private jet, that's going to cost you a lot of money, right? But, in Singapore, there's something called nasi lemak, which is a coconut rice. We can tell you where the best 3 nasi lemak are in Singapore through our little friend or your little friend in Alola. To me, is luxury. It's a form of luxury. It's like I going to Ho Chi Minh. Can't tell me where's the best pho.
So can I say, is that the competitive advantage that you are trying to carve out of this red ocean?
Yes, I am trying to carve out something, in this personalization space. I think us being such a small company, it gives us a little bit more speed and gives us a little bit more nimbility. We don't have to chase for the quarter targets. We don't have to chase for short-term benefits, although if that happens, that's great, but we are not a $10 billion company. We fix things really fast. We execute and we want to move really fast. As long as we get the correct feedback, we want to move it. And hopefully, inch by inch, we get a little bit of market share. That's all we're concerned about right now. And our operational expenses is extremely low. So, yeah, we are a startup, but that's where we can move fast. I think that's a little bit competitive difference as well. Our architecture is built from scratch on an LLM model. I think OTAs out there, if they want to tear down and rebuild, it's going to take it's going to be a little bit risky. I think so, but I'm sure they will be doing a lot of things. Everybody will be doing a lot of things much better. But I think at Alola, we just want to make things a little bit more fun, make things a little bit more personalized, and make it extremely convenient for people.
And this comes from the year experience that you are serving the high net worth individual. Can I say that?
Yeah, you'll be very surprised that, as I mentioned in my book that I've written, high net worth individuals are no different from me and you. They just got a little bit more money than us. But they still want to find out where the best nasi lemak is. They want to find out where the best pho is. And it could be a $3 a bowl kind of soup, beef bowl, and they love it. And surprisingly, they don't eat shark's fin or abalone every day. Half the time they're calling me, Marcus, hey, let's go and eat some chicken rice today. Oh, sure, let's go. But here's the difference. They want to have the best chicken rice that they know of or that I know of. They want good quality. But how much can the chicken rice be? It cannot be more than $10, right? So, yeah, that's luxury. Yeah, simplicity.
So I wanted to add on more about that competitive advantage that you spoke about. So there are some companies out there that are trying to do what we are doing, which is using AI to create AI-generated itineraries. In fact, you can actually do that on ChatGPT. I did that for my recent trip. Because everyone can do that, and that's probably the easier way to start. You start with the itinerary. Now, the difficult part, which we found out the difficult way, is to do it the other way. Now, what's the other way? So, I think you've heard of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? So, this pyramid of what's the most basic need. So, the most basic need is to be an OTA. Because we are doing that one-stop shop for everything. That AI travel thing, it's out there. But, it just tells you like what to do. I can just go on ChatGPT, but you can't book. And that's a lot of what our competitors are doing is exactly that. They were focusing on that itinerary planning, which, it's to each his own. Some may see it as a better way. But we have decided, okay, let's be an OTA first. So even our beta right now, or even before beta, we're already able to book flights, book hotels, book activities, and we've done it already. So we are an OTA first. In fact, we are essentially Singapore's first OTA. Because there's no other OTA I can... there's no others that I could think of that, as an OTA. I mean, there are others who are like meta search, but no OTAs. So we are essentially the first OTA in Singapore. And after establishing that OTA, linking our APIs and all that, which has already been done, the next step is that itinerary planning. And that's where Alola Intelligence comes in. So you plan a trip, it recommends you based on what's available, based on our inventory that's connected. So it won't say like, oh yeah, this is the hotel that you can stay at, but you can't book. And what some competitors are doing is they just send you out of that app to Priceline, to Booking, to Expedia, Agoda, etc. And it jumps out, and then the experience is not so seamless anymore. So, and that's not what we want to do. We want it to be really seamless, the whole experience, a one-stop shop. Do everything in there and be available. So yeah, I think I would say that's our biggest competitive advantage.
We experience, a lot of people say this, if you're in the travel industry, you will understand this as well. Travel is very fragmented. There's a lot of bits and pieces, and especially travel technology, it's really fragmented. The easiest way out is to just build that AI and then wrap ourselves with push it out to other partners for you to execute your final hotels and flights, and then push it out to another payment portal to complete your payment, right? But when something like that happens, so when you book in this fashion, you want to go back to who? You want to go back to the person that you booked the hotel with, or you want to go back to the person that you do your planning with, or you want to go to get a refund from the payment portal that you you made your payment from. So again, the big word is convenient, right? So it's not convenient. The customer gets confused when you get out of this system and you go to another system and then you go to another system. It's like, whoa, it's just go wonky, right? So if we wanted to just do the AI component and just send it out to somebody, we would have been out like 6 months ago, or at least 6 months ago. But we decided to go the hard road, which is what Julian said, and this gave me a lot of nightmares. Integrating with all our inventory partners. Don't get me wrong, I love them. I love them to bits. But every technical API, as you know, I mean, you're a technical person, every API technical, they have different names for their hotels. They have different names for their room types. They have different names for their extra beds or whatever you call it, and integrating this. And then I integrate another hotel, it's like a different name again. Oh, that's a nightmare. We spend more time doing that than actually building the AI. But I, as a founder of the company, I said, no, we should build it in this way. Because keep everything in one ecosystem. It's harder, it's tougher, but it would eventually be more convenient for the customer. Because when our Alola intelligence recommending hotel is pulling from live data and live inventory from what we have, instead, can you imagine? I mean, right now you go ChatGPT and plan me a 5-day trip in Paris. Yes, they will give you everything. But then you need to personally go out there and, okay, let's book a flight first to Paris. Okay, now, plop, this whole big bunch. Oh my goodness. So yeah, I decided to do everything all in-house and let's build everything from scratch. Build it from ground. Our agent can pull from the live inventory, live data that we have, so that our customers will be very convenient in just clicking that pay button once they confirm and move on.
So I just want to flip the equation here a bit. So are you afraid that the user who might use your platform to get like the recommendation, but they go to another platform to finalize the booking? Or is that something you are afraid of?
I think what I've learned in all my life, a VC friend of mine said that I'm too old to be a founder. I was heartbroken when I heard that. But throughout all my years of my experience, right, what's the most difficult thing that we can't change or we try to change is customer behavior. That's the hardest. If somebody want to come and use our itinerary, which is free, and at the end of the day want to go and check prices somewhere else, we can't stop them. So it's okay. I think sometimes as businesses, we need to be a bit more magnanimous and generous. And, hopefully one day we'll win these customers that they will start, okay, I think we better, it's so much more convenient because they have everything there, just click the button, right? But I'm more than happy for people to start searching and checking out prices, because from my standpoint, unless some other companies break the law and sell ridiculously cheap, or there's some crazy promotion going on, then I can't beat that. But I chose to believe that the partners that we work with give us very competitive prices, and our markup from our end, because of our low operational expenses, would remain competitive, right? But I'm happy for users to go check around and please give us that feedback if we are ridiculously more expensive, right? But to answer your question, happy for anybody use our program or Alola to any expense they want. I'm just afraid that people don't even know us or don't even start using us. Then that's really bad.
So I feel like getting like the user to first use your platform is like the first achievement, and you're happy for the user to try your platform out and then give feedback from there.
Yeah, that's what the beta is for, and that's where we need that feedback from the critical market out there to tell us what we're doing right, and more importantly, what we're doing wrong, and so that we can improve for them. Yeah, and that's what we hope to achieve.
I guess that the last question I want to ask is that, like, you mentioned a lot about operational efficiencies. You mentioned that you are a startup, so you are lean, you are low on cost. But for a typical tech startup, and especially on AI, the price of the software engineer, tech talents, and especially AI talents can be very expensive. So what's your experience in this matter, and how do you plan to solve it? Because we have a lot of founders here watching the show.
Well, I'm very blessed that although I'm not a young founder like everybody else is, I do have extensive network of professionals, and a lot of them are board members and advisors to a lot of companies out there. If I don't know something, I just raise up my hand and I just go to my phone and, hey, can you, does somebody knows about this something? And there's somebody, oh yeah, we know, and we're all good friends, so they're more than happy to help. I think to answer the question, is there a true blue AI agent expert out there? We've spoken to about 100 of them. Nobody can give us a definite answer. Now, but if any one of you have a definite answer that could make Alola work to what our dream is supposed to be, please reach out. Find
Email
Khan.
recruitment@alola.com.
No. I think find Khan and reach out to what's our gossip@alola.com.
No spam.
What's our media reach out or whatever we call it?
I'm suddenly stuck. Can't think about it.
Oh my god, I think it's gossip@alola.com, right? Gossip is media. So anyway, anyway, you will find us. We'll provide the links below, email chain below, right? But find us, right? Because right now we are still looking for our co-founders.
Hiring.
No, we're looking for co-founders, right? I mean, if you're a great person, great personality, have the same vision, reach out and we'll have a chat, right? But ultimately, we're in the space right now that if you want to build a brand new LLM model that, back in about 5 years ago, just 5 years or 7 years ago, it's gonna be so much more expensive. But right now, I think it's fine. And it would only get cheaper if I understand correctly. And talents would always get better, will only get better because by the time it's slightly mature in about 1 year's time, at the end of 2025, I think we're going to reach a stabilization point. And then I think we would have a lot more talents. I'm sure there are talents out there, but yeah, it's true. It's through podcasts like this that you get to know us, we get to know you. And, I think Khan, you're doing some recruitment as well. So yeah, I'm sure now that we've got a new friend and we can find some really good people. And I'm happy to work with anybody, whether Singaporeans, from Vietnam, from Malaysia, wherever, right?
So after you have some technical expertise and you are in love with what Alola is doing, please approach them. They are hiring, and we will drop the contact in the description down below. Okay, so I mentioned that just now was the last question, but I want to have a PS question, like the last and final question. So maybe Julian and Marcus, can you give our audience the top 3 tips for the next trip in terms of planning and booking from your own experience?
Top 3 things. I would say because Alola is not fully functional yet, fully up to where we want. So I would say don't overplan, because if you overplan for a trip, you can get quite disappointed. I would say keep it a bit more relaxed, especially if you're traveling with a group, if you're traveling with family and kids. It's always good to keep it a bit more flexible because things change. Weather may be different and so on. So be flexible. I think flexibility is good. What else? I think in Chinese, there's this saying called 一分钱一分货, which means you get what you pay for, or in a crude sense, you pay peanuts, you get monkeys, right? So if you pay for something that's really, a low price for something, don't expect something that's going to be too much. And, you got to be realistic of what you pay for. And finally, I think the third tip is that if you want to get recommendations for travel everywhere, everyone has really good opinions. So if you're on Facebook or on Instagram, you just put I need travel tips for a certain place. You'll be amazed by the amount of people trying to help you. with recommend stuff. We should go to this place, that place, and people are very generous with all that.
So the 3 tips is be flexible, have the right expectation, and ask for help.
Yes.
Okay. How about you, Marcus? From your own high net worth individual.
I only have one tip.
Okay.
Use Alola. That's all.
Okay. So if you're short for time and money, try out Alola. They give you the executive assistant experience, and right now they will be open for closed beta soon. So probably we'll get some tickets for the closed beta.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Sure. So we'll drop some of the giveaway below, and sign up for it, right? And please feel free to give Marcus and Julian feedback, right? They would love to hear the feedback from you to make the product better. And if you are open to work with them, drop them a note as well. Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, Marcus, and thanks, Julian, for being here. Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for watching this episode. If you find the content here useful, please like and subscribe to our channel. That would be a huge encouragement to us, and it will make our content more available to everyone who might benefit from it. And I look forward to seeing you again in our next episode of From 1 to 100. See you!